Welcome back to Hot Topics in the News with Advanced Magazine. I'm your host, John, and I'm joined by Teacher Garrett. How are you feeling today?
Hello, I'm feeling great today. Good to talk about sports.
Garrett, have you ever played tennis?
Oh, well, a little bit. I remember my mom signed me up for classes when I was very young. And you know, I grabbed that racket and I just wanted to hit the ball as far as I could, which is not really what you want to do in tennis.
But it is fun when you hit the ball. It makes an amazing pop, like a popping noise. Now, tennis is very well known worldwide. A lot of countries compete at a very high level in tennis, and the US Open is a tennis tournament that is one of the most famous in the world. It's held on August 29th in New York City usually, and the prize is $2.5 million. So what do you think is going through the heads of professionals when they compete in this?
Oh, well, a lot of pressure, of course. They practice year-round for these competitions, and I'm sure they have a lot of people kind of constantly giving them comments, telling them, you gotta do this, you're the best. And I'm sure that creates a lot of stress for some people, or a lot of excitement too.
It does. I actually had a student, I was teaching at a church, and my student was globally ranked. Just such a good tennis player at such a young age. And I know that she worked really, really hard, and a lot of these professional tennis players have been training their whole lives for these competitions. You've probably heard of Venus and Serena Williams, right?
That's right, yeah, two of the most famous sports players. And I think tennis is interesting because it's a sport that you play by yourself, generally. Sometimes you have one other person, but because of that, yeah, all the focus is on you. It's not like a big team sport.
Right, and individual sports are really high intensity. Now, we think a lot about what happens when people win, right?
Yes, they win a lot of money maybe, or a lot of glory. People are talking about them.
Yes, or maybe a magazine pays them a lot of money for their picture and to sponsor a product. But what happens to professionals when they lose? In a game like tennis, every other player is losing every time you play a game. And I think it's important to think about what happens to a player when they lose psychologically. What do you think?
Right, well, I think it depends on the player or with the matches. If it's maybe the final game, the final match, then they'll be disappointed. They've worked all of their time has gone into that. And maybe if they don't get that money, it's going to be hard for them to continue playing. And so there's a lot of stress in there. I'm sure athletes that lose, have a hard time working through that. They need a lot of support.
That's right. Just remember to be kind while you watch sports or play sports. We'll be back next week on Hot Topics in the News. God bless you guys, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.